Hey y'all, this is AJ. Hopefully you're officiant, or maybe I've officiated your wedding already and you're just catching up on old times, checking in on how I'm doing. I hope that's the case. If that is, leave a comment below and let me know how you're doing. I would love to reconnect. And I hope your marriage is going well. And if it's not, half price off on your second go round. I've always wanted to say that. So this is my origin story. So I got into officiating weddings and the weddings business in general back in 2020. That's when I got ordained. It was December 2020, and I had just spent about 6 months happily stuck in Guatemala at Lake Atitlan. It's a beautiful place. It's a big lake, it's kind of like an ocean. And it's an extinct volcano that's surrounded by active volcanoes. And it's so beautiful, you can even watch them erupt. I was living in a yogi artist community at the time, and I'd wake up super early so I could journal. It's when I really got into my journaling practice, and I'd write poetry and just really started to let things flow. And you could see Mount Fuego erupting, and I did one time. It was breathtaking, to say the least. And so anyway, during this 6 months in Guatemala, there were a lot of new age hippies and artists and people like that, really into the healing arts. And so I found myself in my healing journey. And so when I came back to Colorado in about August 2020, I decided I am a healer, and part of my healing journey is to marry people. I must officiate. I had been spending some time with a good friend of my mom's in Longmont, and she told me how she had officiated about 10 or 20 weddings, something like that, of her friends. And I thought, yeah, that's definitely something I need to add to my repertoire, to my toolbox of healing arts that I can offer the world. Come December, I signed up online. I got ordained via the Universal Life Church, based out of California. If any of you have become ordained online, or maybe through another online service, feel free to write in the comments below. So this was December 2020, and then nothing happened. I didn't get any weddings because obviously the weddings business and becoming ordained as a minister are very different things. Mid-2021, I'd say around June, July, I'd been running a garden, and that garden had ended, and my time was to move on onto something else. I've worked many different jobs in my life. I've worn many different hats. I'm a jack of all trades and master of a few. But I decided to try something new, and in this search, I came across officiating and the weddings business. But it was given to me, it was shown to me. I was dating somebody at the time who was already officiating weddings, and she told me, "You'd be pretty good at this, I think." And boy, was she right. So the CEO was in town for like a company picnic, and so all the vendors were there, and I had already applied. This was a sort of informal interview that I was having with the CEO, and so things just kind of aligned. And I wasn't offered an officiating job, I wasn't offered the musician job, but I was offered the on-site coordinator job. I remember being asked, so what sort of ceremonies have you coordinated or held and things like that? And I had spent some years operating in the Jewish community, in terms of leading the Jewish community. I was part of a house called the Moishe House, and we would host about 5 to 6 Jewish events every month, and it was geared towards 22 to 32-year-olds. This was in Boulder, Colorado. And so I had experience organizing more meals and celebrations, and in Judaism, as some of you may know, we love to celebrate. On Friday night, we celebrate the Sabbath, we celebrate our sacred rest. Through hosting these and going on retreats and workshops, leadership retreats and things like that, I felt very confident, but I was totally blagging my way through that interview, and talking myself up. Oh, I do cacao ceremonies, I do Jewish ceremonies, I do this, I do that. But I'm a good speaker, and I'm confident in myself. I've worked in sales, I've worked in retail, and being a musician. So clearly it was just enough to get the coordinator job, but not the officiating job or musician job. I had my first coordinator job August 2021. I had no idea what I was doing. The first one it was just the couple, and it was super easy, it was super simple, and the gig went so well. I was like, oh wow, this is a great job. And so I got some more coordinator jobs, and I continued through to 2022, maybe like 20 to 30, not too many, but not too few either. But then I started to see some of the other officiants, and I'm not going to name any names, but I was watching some of these old, crusty men who were so cringeworthy. Watching them, I just couldn't believe some of the things I was hearing. And I was watching and I was saying to myself, I could do this, and I could do it much better. Sorry, not sorry. So I got on the phone with the vendor manager at the time, and I'm like, listen, I'm ready to officiate. I know I can do a great job of this. And it was as if they were waiting for me to say so. It was as if I had been going through this unofficial training process, and they were waiting until I was confident enough to say, or maybe this is just in my head, but I was like, I'm ready, and they're like, great, come on in. We're ready for you to do it. And it just worked out. And I pushed real hard for gigs. I said, load me up on the gigs, just give me as many as you got. I really hassled them for gigs. More gigs, more gigs, more gigs. I officiated my first wedding in July, and I borrowed my roommate's big, funky hat. And I will never wear a hat like that again in my life, because it was just so stupid. It looked so stupid. But it was bolder, it was totally bolder style, it was totally fine. And so I did it, and it felt great. I was so nervous, oh my gosh, it was a wedding, I'm officiating somebody's wedding. Walking away, I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. And obviously it went down well, I got a good review. And I just dived into it. In combination with the coordinator gigs, I worked about 90 weddings that first year. So I really dived in deep, and they went really well, and I was just full of zest and life, and I was so excited to be doing what I'm doing. I'm chuffed just thinking about it. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, simply. And so that was the first season, that was 2022. 2023, did about 45, so half as many. But I had also said that I didn't want to do any more coordinator gigs. I still had some booked from the previous year and previous months. So of course I honored those, honored my commitments. But I was like, I'm an officiant, and I need to go into this, full time. And the coordinator gigs were kind of, it was less pay, slightly less pay. And it just wasn't as good. It was great being everyone's hype man, mainly the bride's hype man. Great story. One time, it was July, Sapphire Point, and it was raining in the middle of July. And as an on-site coordinator, it was my job to keep spirits high. It was my job to, keep everyone happy. Well, not really, but I took it upon myself. I remember walking up to the bride in her car, and her face, she was practically in tears because it was raining on her wedding day. And I'm like, don't worry, rain is good luck on your wedding day. It means you're gonna have loads of babies. And I did my best to turn the situation around. I love being people's hype man. I love inspiring people, and especially on their wedding day, it's like there's so many things that could go wrong, and it's a matter of mindset. And so I took it upon myself whenever I was the on-site helper, as long as they, it was appropriate and I wasn't getting in the way and not getting in the way of the other vendors, because you got to let generally the photographer or the officiant is going to be leading the show. They're going to be sort of coordinating. I'm like their backup. I'm the backup dancer. Backing them up, that's the job. But I didn't want to be a backup dancer anymore. I didn't want to be backstage. I wanted to be front of house. So anyway, got into the officiating a bit more. Decided I didn't want to do coordinating gigs anymore. Not to send me any new ones. I asked the company not to send me any new ones. Just load me up on officiating gigs. Started off with about 90 the first year, 45 the next year, and then like 30 or something. And so I noticed a trend. The trend was not going in the right direction. I knew I had to make some lifestyle changes. I knew I had to figure out some other work and make some, economic choices. That's okay, because it enabled me to come out here to Southeast Asia. I'm here right now. And so yeah, that's my origin story. Moving forward, I'm going to be spending time traveling out here in the off season, and then I'm going to be in Colorado and around the Southwest and other places in the US, visiting friends and family and enjoying the great American summer that it always is. Going to concerts, traveling, camping, doing all the things I love, and with the people I love, and doing the weddings, which I absolutely love. So, sort of fell into the business, was referred. It kind of chose me. I've always been looking for my calling. I've always been searching. Like I said, I'm a jack of all trades. I've worked so many jobs, and in different industries. Officiating weddings is definitely my calling. It's so in alignment with who I am, how I like to inspire and lift people up, how I'm a good public speaker, confident, I like to perform, I like to host, and part of that is definitely quieting my ego and how much, because it's not about the officiant. And that's a sign of a good officiant. It's somebody who doesn't take up all the space, somebody who is noticeable, is commanding the ship, leading the ship forward, but from the back, like a sergeant does, and making the couple look good, which I try to do. And so, yeah, that's my origin story. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if I've done your wedding, or if you would like me to do your wedding. I'd be honored to. I work May through October, but I know a lot of secret locations. I know a lot of places you can go now, and having worked and officiated and coordinated over 250 weddings since 2021, I know a lot of the vendors. I've worked with so many different photographers, makeup artists, coordinators, officiants, videographers, you name it. I can help you out. We can help you out. And so, yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.